When Conor Grennan visited the Little Prince's orphanage in Nepal, he was greeted by hundreds of children with smiling faces. But Grennan soon found out that the children were not orphans at all, but kids taken from their homes by human traffickers. In this week's edition of Authors Revealed, our own Becky Anderson sits down with Grennan as he tells this riveting true story in his new book, Little Princes.
Welcome to Authors Revealed. I'm Becky Anderson. I am so excited. We have Conor Grennan here with his true story. It's called The Little Princes. It's one man's promise to bring home the lost children of Nepal. So what was the exact moment? You're over there and you're volunteering in what you think is an orphanage. What was that? Do you remember that exact moment when you go, I got to do something about this? Or you realize that these kids weren't really orphans, that these kids really had been given to what parents thought were someone who's going to take them to safety during a civil war, what was happening in Nepal. What was that moment you were, I have to do something about it?
You know, I think it was sort of a series of moments. I mean, I think that, you know, again, a moment early on when I realized that kids had to go to the hospital and if I didn't take them, nobody would take them. That sort of started to break me down a little bit and say like, wow, actually this is more than just sort of a lark. But then when this mother came to us, you know, and said, these are my kids here, and she told us this whole story about the kids are being abducted and everything else, and their parents are paying their life savings just to give them to these traffickers. The traffickers are just abandoning them. The parents have no idea where they are. Those are the moments where you're like, wow, this is actually really serious. These are not orphans. These are trafficked kids.
Right. You're looking on your website, Next Generation Nepal, which is this organization you've created. I've noticed that there is at least 300 kids that you've gotten back with their families already.
Yeah, probably more, close to 400.
Wow, that is phenomenal.
Yeah, you know, it started off with me just finding, you know, 24 families walking, you know, with a backpack on through the mountains for weeks, and here we are, you know, a couple years later, and you know, our teams just we don't give up, and there's no easy way to do it. Unfortunately, you just have to walk. You have to take photos of the kids and walk through the mountains from village to village, but you know, we don't give up.
And are there any families when you do find them saying that they just can't take their child back because of, you know, they just can't handle it financially or there's too much hardship? It's
probably the majority of the families. And so what we do is we try to do it slowly. We do a slow transition back. You know, we move the kids back into a home so that they're in their communities, so that they're learning their language, they're learning how to farm, the parents can visit them, and slowly we're trying to help the villages. And so, you know, as we sort of build up the village, hopefully the families feel like they're, you know, a little more supported and they can actually take back their kids. So it's, you know, it's a matter of time and money really more than anything else. The UNICEF estimates that there's close to 15,000 kids in this position, in this type of trafficking. Again, it's not something that ever makes the news, which is why we're very fortunate to have the book out, and hopefully people can latch onto this cause, we hope. But there's thousands of kids out there. Our work won't be done for a long, long time.
We've had an incredible conversation with Conor Grennan about his book, The Little Princes, One Man's Promise to Bring Back the Lost Children of Nepal. You've got to read this. So thanks for joining me on Authors Revealed.